Hi Capricorn, welcome to your reading. If you're new to the channel, I do timeless readings, which means that whenever you find this video is when you're meant to hear the messages within it. And in case you subscribe, I upload my new videos for Cancer and Capricorn on Wednesdays. Oh, I'm gonna go ahead and put these cards back. But like I was saying, the deck that I'm using today is the Ostara Tarot, and that's O-S-T-A-R-A Tarot. And as always, if you guys are interested in getting a personal reading, the information is in the description below. Let me just pick up that card that fell off. We have the Queen of Cups in the upright. But like I was saying, I'm going to go ahead and put this back because it kind of fell into my hand. I do want to give you guys the heads up that sometimes the cards like to flip over in the deck. I do see them. However, I usually don't take them unless they jump out of the deck like these ones have. And usually if they jump out in groups that are too big, I'll go ahead and put them back and continue shuffling. But my goal here is to get you guys roughly 8 or 9 cards, and then we can get started on your reading. So I'm just going to keep shuffling until I get you guys roughly 3 or 4 more cards, and then we can get started. And there they are. All right, Capricorn. So I do want to remind you guys that if you enjoy the reading or if it resonates with you, the best way to let me know is by leaving a like or a comment. Now, you, as your overall energy, have the Seven of Cups. Now, the Seven of Cups is actually kind of a strange energy in relation to Capricorns, because you guys have that sort of stereotype of being realists and living in the sort of physical world and not really letting yourselves daydream a little bit. So I don't want to buy into the stereotype too much, but I feel like it's kind of a little bit uncomfortable for you to be so like up in your head thinking about things and imagining all these different scenarios. And I feel like just from a like normal standpoint, you guys are doing a lot of overthinking, and you know, sometimes that can be good because you can come up with different approaches to situations, which might be beneficial. But I'm also getting that it feels like it feels a little overwhelming for you guys right now. So don't be afraid to really take a step back and allow yourself to marinate instead of having to go through all of it at once, right? Put some things in the back burner if you need to. And I see the Fool card here, and that just further confirms what I was saying earlier about feeling this overwhelming feeling, right? And I'm getting that some of you don't, and I think that that's because you have sort of this innate ability to be able to compartmentalize these things, or to like experience them in a way that is much more, what's the word, like not overwhelming, right? It's like that old saying, like, how do you eat an elephant? You take one bite at a time. But the thing about the Fool is that, yes, it's empty. Yes, it's the number 0, but the number 0 has infinite possibilities, right? When the Fool takes his journey, he's liberated of, or in this case, she is liberated of her old life. So there is no strings attached when you see the Fool, and she can do anything that she wants. And sometimes when you have that much power, you have this analysis paralysis that might happen. So don't let yourself fall victim to analysis paralysis. Really take a second to analyze what it is that you want and then go for it. You have also the Strength in reverse here. So that's very interesting. I would be very careful of limiting beliefs, because I think that a lot of you guys, even though the Fool is liberated of her old life, I don't think you guys are. And I feel like you guys are still having to deal with all that programming that you get from society and that you get from your family and your friends and your culture and whatever. and you have sort of these expectations on what you can and cannot do. I'm here to tell you that you can do whatever you want as long as you work hard enough to actually make it a reality, right? So life is always better when you let your heart decide where you want to go and you use your mind to get you there. That combination is basically virtually unbeatable as long as you truly have faith in it and you give it the chance that it needs to shine, right? And I feel like there's a lot of interesting trust issues here going on. Like I was saying earlier about, your programming and sort of the lessons that are embedded into us. Not everyone here is out to get you, right? Because we have the the Seven of Swords in reverse. Seven of Swords in the upright is a bad card, right? Well, no card is bad, but it has that sort of negative energy because people around you when you have the Seven of Swords in the upright can be dishonest, can be manipulative, can be liars, can be cheaters, can be all kinds of things that are nasty and deplorable, right? But because it's in reverse, it tells me that there's more so the worry that people are going to be these really scummy and terrible people towards you, right? So don't let your fears sort of rule your life. Use your intuition, right? The High Priestess is a very powerful card. The High Priestess is able to communicate without even opening her mouth because she's so introspective, because she's so spiritual. So allow yourself to really listen to that gut feeling that you have, because I know that you have it, and you probably know that you have it, but it's hard to listen to it. And it's not always a conscious decision to not listen to it. Sometimes we just don't know how to, or don't in that particular situation without thinking about it. Again, because of programming and this and the other. But the better you can get at listening to your heart, which that's what she has in her hands, the better you're going to be able to distinguish who is and who isn't and become sort of like this better judge of character. Also, you have here the Eight of Cups in reverse with the Three of Pentacles. The Five of Pentacles. The Five of Pentacles, to me, is a card about that sort of disappointment and probably what leads to this sort of fear of Seven of Swords here, right? Because the story of this Five of Pentacles is that this person tries to find shelter from the cold winds and the snow in some building, but when they open the door, they slam it on her because they don't want her inside, right? And I feel like somebody has shown you some kind of backstabbing or some kind of terrible treatment like this in the past, and you haven't quite let go of it, because I see the Eight of Cups, which talks about not letting go. The Eight of Cups is leaving a situation, it's walking away, right? Like, even just like the depiction here, you have like an eagle man or an eagle person or whatever that could easily fly away far away from these cups, but isn't. And that's what it feels like when it's in the reverse. Like, this person isn't getting ready to take off. This person is settling in, right? So, like I was saying, use your best discretion when it comes to your intuition and other people. And do acknowledge that sometimes we have sort of unreasonable expectations of how people are going to react, both positive and in the negative. And, it's never good to be in an extreme. The person who blindly trusts in everyone needs to learn to be a little bit more discriminatory in who they put their trust in. And the person who blindly distrusts everyone needs to learn that they can trust in some people and that many times their lives will be benefited if they do. And lastly, you have this Queen of Cups and this Four of Swords here, which to me kind of compounds on what I just mentioned, because the Queen of Cups is very emotional. She understands people, she's able to empathize, and she's able to communicate in a way where people feel not only heard, but felt, and in an emotional way. because sometimes it's easy to sort of brush aside these emotions, but they're very real components of people. So with the Four of Swords here, I think that it's telling you to really take a step back and rest. Because whenever I see the Four of Swords, I know that there's sort of this go, 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 go mentality. And I think that it's really working you guys to the bone a little bit. And if you're able to really rest and take these sort of messages to mind, you'll be able to really progress a lot faster. I think that you guys are sort of throwing yourselves into work or something else to kind of distract yourself a little bit from working on this. But I think that if you take some time to actively work on this, do some meditation. For some of you, that might look like getting therapy, right? Like, you guys know yourself best. Do whatever it is that you want to do to work on sort of these patterns that we all have in our lives. And I think that you'll see that that'll have a ripple effect on the rest of your life, and that it's going to benefit you and, make you, that much more of a well-rounded person. I'm not saying that you have to in order to be a well-rounded person, but basically what my point is that you guys should take a little time to work on your mental health, because that's something that we all need sometimes. But that was your reading first time around, Capricorn. I hope you enjoyed. And if you did, please leave a like or a comment, because I personally really love to know if these readings resonate with you guys. But like I said before, I upload my new Capricorn readings on Wednesday. But in the meantime, you guys are more than welcome to watch any of my other timeless readings that I have up on the channel. And with that being said, I hope to see you guys next time for your next reading.